Internet, good morning. This is Daybreak748 coming back at you guys with yet again another discussion video. Today we are going to be talking about whether or not you should be collecting either the Figma or the AGP line for the Kancolle franchise. Now, as you guys can clearly see on your left here, majority, I would say 90% of my collection here is Figma. And then these three right here are the AGP girls. Now with that said, let's start with the following. Let's start with AGP. AGP is a line that was created by Bandai to kind of compete with Figma and their Kancolle franchise. But to be honest, the AGP line is so riddled with quality control issues, lack of detail, paint issues, articulation issues, joint issues. There's just so many problems off the wazoo that it really doesn't stand a chance when comparing with Figma. Now, don't get me wrong, the AGP line has some things going for it, but for the most part, it's very, very spotty at best. Now, another thing you have to worry about when it comes to the AGP line is the fact that their figures are very, very pricey. Why? Because it's most of them are exclusives. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to collecting the AGP line, if I were you, avoid the following things and you will be happy. First, if a character design has a lot of little tiny details, like for example the Yamato figure that they started this line off with, where she had like these flower petals in her hair, avoid them like the plague. If you see that a character has a lot of chain pieces, avoid like the plague. And if you see that they have just, I guess this is the running theme, if you see that they have very small detail-oriented pieces on them, avoid it, because they are going to screw that up big time. When it comes to AGP, you want to stick with simplistic designs because they do that very, very well. Now, these three girls that I have here, I can definitely recommend because they are pretty simplistic in design. They do not have those tiny detailing like I've spoke about. They don't have any, I guess, metal pieces or chain pieces, I should say, because those are just janky. So yeah, these three I can definitely recommend, but others not so much. So avoid the AGP line if you are a perfectionist. You definitely don't want to be getting these girls because they do cost a lot, and the chance of you getting a spotty figure at best is very, very high. Now, when it comes to the Figma line, it's a must get. Figma has been blowing it out of the water with all of their releases, and yeah, I know a lot of people are frustrated sorta with the Figma franchise because they only tackle smaller battleship characters. However, they do a very darn good job with them. Now, as you guys can clearly see, I have pretty much every single Figma Kancolle girl that has been released up to date, and I will continue to be picking up these girls because if you like cute or sexy girls with these awesome battleship pieces, then what are you waiting for? This is a must get. Figma's price point is definitely reasonable, and when they're released, and they're not that hard to come by. I know a lot of figures sometimes get sold out relatively quickly, but when it comes to the Kancolle line, that's not a real big issue. And when it comes to, for example, exclusives, she is the only exclusive to date. So that's pretty awesome. Yes, she will cost you a little bit, but if you go to, for example, Ami Ami pre-owned or Mandarake, she's usually there for a decent price. If you need to go to eBay and places like that, yeah, she can definitely cost a decent amount. So try to avoid those types of places. Now, when it comes to the Figma line, small detailing, no problems. Chains, no problem. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at the one girl who does have a actual chain, it is her right here. And clearly you can tell that they actually use a real chain, unlike the AGP line where they just use pretty much a piece of plastic and they paint it in gold coloring, which is garbage. Figma, they actually give you real chains, so that's freaking epic. Now with that said, I can't really say anything more about them because they are all positive. Now, some people might be like, well, Daybreak, there was a quality control on one of your figures before and you had to contact Good Smile. Yeah, but the thing is, Good Smile, if it's something that was truly a defect, then Good Smile will definitely help you out. You just have to ask. And that is something that AGP would never do. So that's another plus when it comes to collecting this franchise. So there you guys have it, guys. This was my thoughts on the Kancolle girls. And guys, real quickly, if you were like, I kind of like the Figma line, but I also like some characters from the AGP line, can I mix them? The answer is yes. I mean, look at this. This looks freaking epic. I love collecting both lines, and so will you. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to stop by and watch this video. If you like what you saw, please leave a thumbs up. If you like Kantai Collection, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. With that said, this is Daybreak 748. I'm signing out. Peace out, guys.